Hi, I'm Dr. Lisa Thompson of drlisamthompson.com, and I have a question for you. Do you struggle at making sales consistently in your home business? Well, pay close attention because in this video series, I'm going to be sharing with you how to overcome your fear of sales. And I'm taking this from a book that I just recently finished called Sell or Be Sold by Grant Cardone. If you don't have that book, really suggest that you pick up a copy and you read it and you start following Grant on his YouTube channel. He's always got videos out about how to improve your ability to close more sales. And you really want to watch on Thursdays his Young Hustler show because he and his vice president Jared Grant really helps entrepreneurs and salespeople develop their skill at closing sales. And so at the end of Grant's book, Grant went out and he surveyed salespeople and said, what is your biggest challenge with making sales? And so he did this survey, and at the end of the book, he lists what are the biggest challenges. And that's what we're going to be talking about over the next 4 videos. So let's get right to it. The first one is rejection. And rejection is not a sales issue. One of the biggest reasons people are afraid to go out and prospect people, and they feel that picking up the phone or sending a text message or reaching out to people on social media to see if they're open to their product, service, or business opportunity, or even in the art of the follow-up, they are afraid of hearing the word no. And what rejection is, it's a part of the human condition. And what Grant says, and I thought this was very interesting, rejection is what happens when a person has a low responsibility level in getting things done and they adopt a victim mentality. Rejection happens when you are unwilling to be responsible for the outcome. So to get over your fear of rejection, excuse me, what you need to do is adopt the mindset of a waitress or a waiter at a restaurant. Now think about when the last time you went to a restaurant and you ordered your meal, and they come by and they ask you if you want more coffee, or they'll ask you at the end of the meal if you would like some dessert. Or at the beginning of the meal, they ask if you would like to start with an appetizer. And if you tell them no thank you, do you see them break down? No, of course not. They sit there and say, okay, and then they come back later, or they give you your bill, and then off they go to the next person. The way you get over rejection is to make sure that you have your pipeline filled up with leads. You are constantly looking at building up your lead generation pipeline so you always have people to talk to. And so stay with me until the end of this video because I'll show you how you can get more training on how to fill up those leads in your pipeline. And when you do experience no, one way that you can sit and think about how can you do it differently next time so you can turn that no into a yes. And what Grant tells people to do is when you hear that word no, keep a diary of why that person said no. Because a lot of times no doesn't mean no to you. It's no for another reason. Now, the next thing that Grant says that they found that impacts people's ability to make sales is negative surroundings. You see, there's negativity everywhere, and negativity is like a disease, and it's very contagious by nature. And the last thing that a prospect wants is negativity. And Grant said this, and I thought, wow, this makes so much sense. People will pay more for a positive attitude than a great product. So what people want to pay for a lot of times is the experience. They want to be able to be a part of something special, something exclusive, something that's going to make them feel good. And so if you can structure a surrounding that's going to make it a positive experience, whether you are on social media or you're talking with them one-to-one, the chances of increasing your ability to make more sales is going to increase because you're going to be more attractive. So that means you've got to stand guard at the door of your mouth, mind, and surroundings. That means you have got to limit the amount of negativity that you have in your life. You can't eliminate it, but you can replace it. So if you are on social media and you see a lot of people who are negative, you have to either unfriend those people or you got to hide those negative posts from your timeline. If you have negative people around you, friends or co-workers who constantly complain, limit your time around them and be around people who are positive and solution-oriented. You also want to make sure what you're reading and listening to is positive. The last thing you want to do before you go to bed at night is have the news on. And you shouldn't have like Fox or CNN or any talk radio on in the background while you are working. That is going to breed more negativity. Instead, focus on having listening to mindset recordings, business and skill and leadership development. The third reason people don't make sales that Grant outlines in the book is discipline. You need to be showing up and doing the right things long enough consistently. Your calendar is your biggest boss, and this is where a lot of people, this is where you can tell who the top earners are versus those who are struggling. The top earners say, here's my calendar, and they will show you that their calendar is full of things that they are doing. The most important outcomes when it comes to income-producing activities. Those who are struggling, and I learned this from network marketing expert Eric Worre. When he was building his organization and people were struggling, he'd say, okay, show me your calendar. And if nothing was written down, first thing he taught his people to do in his team is get good at filling out their calendar. Whatever gets written down gets done. The next reason why people struggle is the economy. Now, the top earners will always know how to thrive in any type of economy. And you have to understand, when the economy contracts, people are more careful with their expenditures. And what people who struggle with sales with, they panic and they think, oh man, if the economy's bad, there's no way they're going to part with their money to join a business, or they're going to want to buy my product, especially if it's a premium product. What the top earners do, and I've seen many top earners thrive and make the most sales and build the biggest organizations in a contracted economy. And you have to understand that in business, throughout your whole time you are building a business, you're going to experience booming, stagnant, and contracting economies. And what top earners do is they focus on other skills that make them stand apart from the competition and make them attractive. And that's what Grant says you have to do. He said Grant became one of the top salespeople in the world in a contracted economy because he focused on other skills. He looked at, where do I need to improve and how can I use that to get more sales? How can I attract more people to me? And so that's where your mindset comes into play. This is where you want to build your skill set. If you're somebody who is devoting, you're spending most of your free time playing Xbox and you're not working on building your skills, you have to change something, because when you have the skill set right and you understand how the economy works, the different types of economies out there, you're still going to be able to thrive and create your own economy. The next reason is competition. And this is where a lot of people in the home business space, they get frustrated, is that they see there's so many people, so many distributors. I can't compete with the top earners. It looks like the market is saturated. No one's going to want to buy from me. Here's the thing you have to understand about competition. Competition builds credibility in the marketplace, and no product, service, or business stays superior forever. And what Grant says is that what you want to do when there's a market that's competitive is you have to see and get excited, because this is a market which is a moneymaker, and people are willing, even in a contracted economy, will purchase. And so what you want to do, again, with competition, there is a lot of noise in the marketplace because everybody's doing the same thing, especially on social media, where they're sitting there and they're using the same social media status updates, the same pictures. They're saying the same words, these scripts. Okay, a lot of times in distributor kits, they'll give you sample scripts and sample posts, and people use them word for word, and it creates this noise in the marketplace. And what you need to do to set yourself apart is, number one, you need to know who you're marketing to. You're not marketing to everybody, okay? And you need to make sure you know who you're marketing to and how you can rise above the noise by showing value, by showing a unique way of how your product, service, or business can help other people. Being authentically you. That's how you rise above the noise so your market can find you. So you have to find a way to differentiate yourself. Now keep this in mind. Your market is out there looking for you. There are people out there who see you as the answer to their prayer. And they are up at 2 in the morning with tears in their eyes, searching Google and YouTube to find you. And you are lost in the noise. You have to find a way to rise up above the noise. Then we have product knowledge. 90% of buyers go online to check out their next purchase or investment, which contains both accurate and inaccurate information. And so what you need to do to attract people to you first, never ever in your social media status updates and when you talk with people, you never mention your company or your product right off the bat. Because guess what people are going to do? They're going to go right on Google, they're going to search it. A lot of times the negative is always going to be the first things that show up on a Google search or a YouTube search. And then what happens is it raises their level of resistance. You want to become more attractive by doing creative curiosity posts that talk about the benefits versus features. Features are what the product is, the physical aspect of the product, what makes up the product, maybe product ingredients. Benefits are what the product does. So when you look at something like a health shake, all right, you would say a feature would be the special ingredient developed by top medical researchers. Benefits are what the product does, saying this milkshake tastes so yummy, it's like you're eating a Blizzard from Dairy Queen, and I was able to fit into my clothes that I haven't worn since high school. That's the benefit. And then people buy benefits over features. People don't buy a drill. They want the drill so they can make a hole. Okay, so you want to make sure that you are selling the benefit because how it makes people feel. The last thing we want to talk about today is follow-up. Okay, the fortune is in the follow-up. You want to be following up with people. Now, on average, it takes 7 touches or exposures to your product, service, or business before a prospect or your lead makes a decision. So this requires discipline and persistence. See, you're never going to know when your prospect's going to come around and buy. So if they tell you no now, it may not mean no to you. It's going to mean the timing isn't right now. Or something has come up where my focus is here. If you treat them right and you keep providing them with value, you build that know, like, and trust relationship. What's going to happen is you will eventually get these people to become customers and reps. And not only customers and reps, but loyal customers and reps. My good friend Ray Higdon, okay, followed up with people all the time. And he keeps following up with them until they actually get really mean and nasty with him and say, no, stop following up with me. And he said some of his most successful team members who've gone on to build organizations, he's followed up with so many times. As a matter of fact, one of his top earners one day showed him all of the texts that Ray sent him for a number of years before he finally made the decision to join Ray in business, and he became a top earner. So always focus on the follow-up. And you have to understand, too, with following up with people, why it's so important to be consistent, is that people have short attention spans, usually less than 8 seconds. So if you forget about them and you're not consistently following up, they're going to forget about you. And then all of a sudden, when you decide to show up and follow up with them, they are going to say, who are you? And they're going to likely see you as someone as spammy. So always be consistent with your follow-up. Now, did you find this video valuable today? If you did, leave a comment and share. Make sure you're following me on Facebook at facebook.com/Dr. Lisa Thompson to know when I'm going to be issuing the next part in this video series. So I want you to make sure that you are following me so you know when this goes live on my Facebook fan page. Or if you're watching me on YouTube, you can click on the subscribe button you see in the lower right-hand corner of your screen if you are watching me on YouTube. If you're watching me on Facebook, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel right from my Facebook fan page. Just look for the tab. Now, as always, and as promised, if you want to really learn more from Grant about really learning the art of the sales process, go check out his store here. You see it right down at the screen there. You want to click on that link. I also have it in the comments section. He has a lot of great training programs centered around these areas that we just talked about today. So go check that out. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in part 2.